She's so fine. Helluva, blows my mind. Helluva, lights my day.
What's good, guys? Today is Saturday, October the 3rd, 2020. It's actually 3:51 a.m. So I was researching something and came across this, and I wanted to share it because I have never seen this before. It came from Facebook, and it is from Nessa Monet. She sent a post or a message to WGN TV out of Chicago. The date on it is May the 1st, 2018, 1:03 p.m. And I just think it's an interesting read, so I'm going to share it. It says, "To whom it may concern, I am writing this letter to call your attention to the case of Kenneka Jenkins. 19-year-old Kenneka Jenkins was found dead in the freezer of the Crown Plaza in Rosemont, Illinois, on September the 10th, 2017. The following month, Kenneka's death was ruled an accident, and her case was subsequently closed by Rosemont Police Department in what many believe was a rush to judgment. Over the past 7 months, hundreds of thousands of people have dedicated their lives to the fight for justice. Justice for Kenneka Jenkins. We have examined every second of edited video, every word of any document, statement, motion filed, a police report, autopsy. We have examined every aspect of this case. We are not going away. We are not ever going to back down. In this fight for justice, we are also fighting for ourselves against the system that is unjust and unfair. We have rights. Kenneka Jenkins has rights. Unfortunately, we may never know how she met her demise due to the negligence of the Rosemont Police Department. This letter isn't going to be filled with wild conspiracies or accusations which have undoubtedly affected this case. Attached are the Illinois procedures for properly investigating death scenes. I provided the procedures as a reference for the violations listed in this letter. I am not asking that you step in to investigate the death of Kenneka Jenkins. I am demanding it. Kenneka Jenkins' rights were violated. The investigation following the discovery of Miss Jenkins' body is well documented on video. The footage and all other documents pertaining to Miss Jenkins' case were released to the public on October the 20th, 2017. In releasing the documents, Rosemont Police Department made it clear to the public that they failed to properly investigate. They were convinced early on that Miss Jenkins' death was an accident. One fact remains. Rosemont Police Department failed to follow procedure when investigating the suspicious death of Kenneka Jenkins. The following is a list of violations and inconsistencies. The body was moved before the medical examiner arrived. Evidence was mishandled. The medical examiner's assistant, green jacket, is seen on video trying to put an unidentified object in his jacket pocket. He then puts the same object under the blanket on the gurney with Kenneka Jenkins' body. The crime scene was not sealed off. The scene, including the parking lot and the specified parameters in the police procedure, should have been sealed. Approximately 50 people contaminated the crime scene. Many of them were officers. Some were in uniform, others were in plainclothes. None of them had proper clothing or footwear. Inconsistencies in the crime scene photos. There is an Adidas shoe print right next to Miss Jenkins' body. She wore Jordans. In later photos, the area appears to have been wiped clean. There is what appears to be black burned plastic and soot located mainly around her body. After her body was moved, the burned plastic / soot is not under her body. It made an outline of her body. The only explanation is that the plastic / soot came after her body. No explanation as to why there is dirt on the inside area of Miss Jenkins' shoes. There is a substance on her stomach that appears to be semen. Black material on her fingernail that did not match her clothing. Clothing showed signs of a struggle. Miss Jenkins' hair did not have bangs in footage released of her arriving at the hotel. In the crime scene photos, she has bangs. Her hair is also singed and soaking wet. There were no fingernail scrapings, DNA, or any other biological items collected or tested. Miss Jenkins' body was listed as frozen, but it was not properly thawed. Crime scene photos show an ice cube next to her foot. In other photos, the ice cube is melted into a puddle. In later photos, the puddle that formed from the melted ice cube is frozen. Proper photos and measurements were not taken of the scene. There are no shots above the door frame. Photos appear to be cropped. Jenkins' mother is adamant that there was a camera above the freezer door. She has also stated that she points at cameras along the route to the freezer. This video footage seems to support her claims. She is seen in several areas pointing towards the cameras. On the footage of the kitchen where the body was found, officers can be seen pointing at the camera that recorded Jenkins entering the kitchen. Jenkins' mother then points in the direction of the freezer. There's a coffee cup sitting on the stainless steel table. It was never collected during the investigation. The cup later disappears. The original hard drive was not collected. Rosemont received the footage on thumb drives early in the investigation. They were given a, quote, copy of the hard drive, end quote, on October the 15th, 2017, just days before closing the case. The breaker box in the kitchen where the body was found is open in photos, then closed during the ferroscan. Police said they never turned on or off. Ceiling tiles were moved. The ferroscan shows the camera in different location. It was first documented and reported that there was 47 cameras. They later changed the amount of cameras. They listed several cameras that would have caught Miss Jenkins' alleged path to the kitchen as broken. They did not verify how long said cameras had been broken. There are 2 cameras that were listed as inoperable that are questionable. The camera labeled Laundry 2 was listed as inoperable, but footage from the camera was released. The camera labeled Kosher Kitchen Stairs is listed as inoperable. This camera is important because it is located directly outside the kitchen in which Miss Jenkins' body was found. In evidence photos taken on September the 10th at 2:07, the camera has 2 working lights, one red, one blue. The camera was on. The camera was discovered inoperable on September the 14th and also repaired on September the 14th. The police did not see unedited video before they closed the case. The family nor the attorney has seen the unedited video. It has not been provided. Conflicting reports. The original news reports state that Jenkins was seen near the front desk of the hotel around 3:30 a.m. No footage of Jenkins near the front desk has been provided. No explanation for this conflicting report has been provided. On September the 14th, 2017, community activist Andrew Holmes gave a press conference in which he stated that he was shown video by the Rosemont Police Department. He stated that he saw Kenneka Jenkins open the door to the freezer and walk in the freezer by herself. He also stated that Jenkins was in the lobby. He later recanted his statements. Although he recanted his statement, his press conference was before the footage of Jenkins was released to the public on September the 15th, 2017. Andrew Holmes knew many details of Kenneka Jenkins' path and whereabouts before the footage was released to the public. He knew the details about the freezer before photos/footage was released to the public. He states that the police allowed him access to the freezer. Rosemont police never denied working with Holmes. It is also worth noting that Rosemont Police Department has been involved in several lawsuits in which they have been accused of misconduct. The misconduct includes covering up crimes and removing surveillance cameras that may have captured illegal activity. Officers removed Miss Jenkins' personal items from her body. They then proceeded to handle the items without gloves and take pictures of the items on their personal cell phones. We demand that you not only investigate the Rosemont Police Department, but that Kenneka Jenkins gets a fair chance at justice. This can only be achieved by reopening her case. Due to the negligence of Rosemont Police Department, we are aware that much of the evidence is probably long gone or destroyed. Her body should be exhumed and her case reopened. The police department needs to be held accountable. She then placed a link in there, and then it goes on to say, "Thank you for your time and consideration of this letter. Sincerely, Mrs. A.D. Polk." We'll go back to that document, but I wanted to read the at least some of the comments here. First comment's tagging somebody. Next comment. The nighttime security guard who goes by, quote, macho, end quote, did it. Find him, find her killer. Next person says, not macho, the other security guard. The next person says, that's great. And the last comment says, they were all in it, and all to blame. Some might disagree, but Mother knows more than she is letting on. I've followed this case for 3 years from the UK and believe that it was a sacrifice 100%. This also has 12 shares and 15 likes. So let's see what this link is about here. And here's the link. It was a government website, but yeah, it says, oops, that's not standard. Sorry, we cannot find that page. The actual website it's coming from is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the U.S. Department of Commerce. I'm not sure what that was supposed to do for what she was saying, but I mean, look, this letter was very, very well written. I mean, I'm impressed. That took some time. And I love writing, so when I saw this, it kind of took me back for a minute. Because when I started reading through there, I was like, man, you know, this person is hitting on everything. So she's definitely done her fair share of investigation and is still fighting the good fight, even on May the 1st, 2018. I I don't know what has happened to her since then because I'm not familiar with this person. I'm not really a J4K Facebook type person. But I don't knock anyone else for doing it because we can get justice any way we take it. You know what I mean? So, so I just wanted to wrap this up. But since we were speaking about activist Andrew Holmes and what he has said and what he has recanted, I found this article and I found it to be interesting. It's from January the 31st, 2017, and it's from the FBI.gov website. It says FBI Chicago honors community activist Andrew Holmes for his work to help police fight violent crime. And this is my first time seeing this article as well. And it actually took me back a little bit because it kind of made my stomach hurt. just a hair. Because I'd like to think of, and I know it's a reach, but I would like to think of the FBI as being sort of a non-biased part of this. Not necessarily the Chicago branch, but just in general. So when I saw this, yeah, it kind of made my belly ache a little bit. It says the FBI Chicago Field Office presented community activist Andrew Holmes with the 2016 FBI Directors Community Leadership Award, DCLA. He was selected by the Chicago Field Office for his dedication and leadership in local communities, which has helped law enforcement fight violent crime throughout the Chicago area and northwest Indiana. Mr. Holmes is often seen on the streets of many Chicago neighborhoods working as a rapid responder to help generate tips and leads, working with law enforcement, and circulating community alerts in an effort to locate victims of human trafficking. He is the president of Operation Restoring Innocence and a 2014 FBI Chicago Citizens Academy graduate. Quote, Mr. Holmes' tireless efforts have made him a valuable resource for law enforcement as it works to combat the violence plaguing the Chicago area, end quote, said Michael J. Anderson, special agent in charge of the FBI Chicago Field Office. He presented Mr. Holmes with the 2016 DCLA today during a lunchtime ceremony. This spring, Mr. Holmes will join the DCLA recipients selected by other FBI field offices across the nation at an awards ceremony to be held in Washington, D.C., where he will be personally recognized and honored by FBI Director James B. Comey. The DCLA award was established in 1990 as a way to honor individuals and organizations for their efforts to prevent crime, terrorism, drugs, and violence, and to further law enforcement efforts in their communities. And I showed this image in my video, and that's when I came across this, and it kind of, like I said, threw me back a little bit. So, he is well liked within law enforcement, obviously. But I just wanted to wrap this up and go into this where I had gotten that picture from. So, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will be talking to you guys again soon. Thanks.